Over the course of the next few weeks, we're going to be studying the connections between the 7 elements of design to the 7 elements of photography. And although you may think you don't know these elements, you've been learning them since you were in kindergarten, regardless of what school you have attended. So they're probably intrinsically boring to you, whether you know it or not. The first one that we're discussing is how line compares to movement. So how line that we've studied in art and design, how it creates movement within photography. Now, the term movement in photography is often used to describe the relationship between your camera's shutter speed and a subject. So how fast your shutter is opening and closing, how much light it's allowing in, and the subject, which is the thing that you're taking a photo of. When it comes to photography, as a photographer, if you were to take a photo like this, you would need to follow the man on the bike in order for him to be in focus and everything else to be blurry. In this case, the hair and the woman are the subjects. Everything else is dark. Her body is moving, but she freezes her position. So her hair is the last thing to move with the sand on it. And this is probably a lower shutter speed to allow that smoke cloud to occur on her hair. Movement in art and design refers to the path that the viewer's eye takes while reading a photograph. It's interesting because we just studied the rule of thirds, but this is how your eye actually scans the rule of thirds. We spend a great deal of time in the upper left-hand corner and the lower left-hand corner, and less time in the upper right-hand corner, and the least amount of time in the lower right-hand corner of your photo or your work of art. Is this because we're from an English-speaking community and country that reads from left to right? Does this have anything to do with Fibonacci's spiral and the rules of the golden element, which in and of itself could be an entire class that I could teach? The only thing that we know for certain is that movement is shaped by the elements and the principles of art and design, and that you, as a photographer, in this class and moving on throughout your life, can take control of the way that a viewer absorbs a photograph. For example, in this piece, the use of line in this photo creates sort of a visual highway, if you want to think about it that way. And this visual highway is guiding the viewer's eye from the left portion of that upper left rule of thirds line through the right portion of the rule of thirds where her face is, down through to the bottom lower right, and then her right leg drags the viewer's eye back up into the photo, creating that spiral effect of the Fibonacci movement. Jagged lines create excitement, and they shift the viewer's gaze from one point of view to the next. I'm going to continue this video in my next section.